Squid Coward's album review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest album from Squid. They are a post-punk and art punk band out of the UK, and they've been at it for a few years now, and they've been turning heads since their early EPs, especially mine. I've kind of been glued to their sound since the Lino EP years ago, which, wasn't overly a flashy little EP, but there was a lot of great elements to it, like the post-punk elements, a lot of the brooding synthesizers, and the band's frantic kinetic energy. I had a lot of the same feelings on their follow-up, the Town Center EP, which showed them kind of building off the sounds of the Lino EP, but also bringing in a lot of personality as well. Definitely heard on awesome tracks like The Cleaner. But for me, though, it was all about their debut record, the Bright Green Field record. If you're a fan of the modern art punk scene and you haven't listened to this thing yet, consider yourself having to do some homework. This thing is a wild, winding, heady, sweaty record, but it's also very ear-catching, very memorable. It also had my 2021 Single of the Year in Narrator. Now, a couple of years later, they followed that up with the Oh Monolith record, which I did enjoy. But here's the thing. It is a much more dense and heady record that you absolutely have to turn your brain on for. At times, maybe even a little bit too heady. But Squid, at the very least, have been really pushing the modern art punk sound and pushing it into the future. Now, it has been a few years since we've heard from Squid, and I've enjoyed a lot of the singles they've been dropping leading up to this thing, like Crispy Skin and Cro-Magnon Man. And for the most part, Squid keep putting out the heat, and I keep tuning in and loving what I hear. Crispy Skin kicks this record off. I've enjoyed this since I heard it late last year. I love how lush and colorful this track is, mostly due to the very whimsical synths that float throughout this track. Also, lead singer Ali, as far as his vocals are concerned, I really do love them on this album. Throughout this thing, he just sounds more and more and more calculating and dangerous. As a matter of fact, the band just sounds more dangerous than ever. Not only that, but they just sound harder to keep track of. Like this one as an intro just does not want to sit still, and it doesn't sit still. The headier moments are wild, and the more meditative moments in the second half actually are kind of beautiful at points. Hypnotic as well. This track does a really great job of ushering in the sounds of this record. I do love Building 650 as well. Loved it since it dropped as a single. It's one of the more meditative and groove-focused cuts here, and I appreciate that. I love the thick veil of mystery over this cut as well. This is just a sound from Squid that I can't get enough of. Instrumentally, you just don't know where this track is going to go at a moment's notice, and Ali continues to sound at his most calculating. It's the most formless cut here, by far, and might just be my favorite. There's also a lot of moments on this track that are triumphant, even regal. Blood on the Boulders, on the other hand, is one of the most pensive cuts here. It starts off so slow, so hushed, so tense. And it has a lot of really great qualities to it, from the dual vocals to the patient drumming. You're just going to want to look even closer and closer at the tinier details of this record, which also, speaking of the dual vocals on cuts like this, they're entrancing, honestly. So much so that when this cut takes off 2.5 minutes in, it's genuinely thrilling. It keeps picking up and picking up and picking up till it gets this very wild-eyed art punk sound until it just fizzles out. It's great. Really love Fieldworks Part 1 as well. This brings back this very regal sense that I was chatting about a few minutes ago. It's very refined. I love the soothing vocals that we get here. Short, it's sweet, it's very artsy, and it breaks up this album up really nicely. Fieldworks Part 2, on the other hand, throws all the regality out the window and just comes in with a much more noisy and very freakish cut. So many of these instrumentals just have this way of getting under your skin. They are so unnerving, but man, do they keep you locked. Squid also make a great call here and bring out almost a release when it comes to this hook. And as this track rolls on, it just really turns into this very eclectic, very multi-directioned art punk tune that just has seemingly 1,000 little details and you want to check them all out. Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff. Squid, for the most part, still sound like they are just at the top of the game right now and just keep pushing this genre forward. I just wish that the rest of this record really stayed as consistent as the first half, because the finale that we get here, for me at least, it's very disappointing. Like Showtime, for example, I don't know, man. This one just doesn't work for me. And it's weird because this track has almost every single characteristic of the rest of this record. It just sounds like it wasn't really executed the right way. This just sounds to me like Squid throwing absolutely everything at the wall that they possibly can and nothing sticking. It ends up just being needlessly heady and just kind of annoying. And Well Met Fingers Through the Fence as the finale, it's just kind of okay. And this one just seems to me like the most experimental and most far out cut here. I mean, this one is over 8 minutes long, and over it, you're getting constantly layer after layer, instrumental after instrumental. My only issue is it just doesn't really go anywhere. A lot of these sounds on their own just sound kind of all right, but nothing ever really comes together. And the final 2 minutes, certainly very much so more interesting. It just took a while to get there. I don't know, I just feel like the finale of this record could have been executed a lot better. For my money, I still personally don't feel like they've outdone the Bright Green Field record still, but that's just me. I mean, there's still a lot of really great tracks here to love, like Cro-Magnon, man. Like, if you want to hear Squid at the most edge of their seat, look no further. This riff, I don't even know what it is. Between the start and the finish of this track, it really does hop back and forth quite frequently between completely hellish, but also a very whimsical wonderland of a track. And I really do love this album's title track, Cowards. It's one of the artsiest tracks here. It's also Squid showing the most restraint here because they really do let this track breathe, be patient with it, and the soundscape, the incredible ambiance that they put together is really incredible. And as it moves on, it actually becomes one of my favorite tracks here. Maybe my favorite deep cut. I mean, it's very artsy, but the attention and detail here it's pretty wild. Those haunting horns especially, impeccable cut. I mean, overall, Squid keep putting out the heat, and I keep showing up and enjoying what I hear. I mean, my main issue is I still haven't heard anything from the band quite like the Bright Green Field record. A little bit sweatier, a little bit more riff-oriented, which is kind of where I want to hear them. But there's nothing wrong with this record. As a matter of fact, the band continues to grow and push their sound, get more detailed, try new things, and really push themselves. And I'm always respecting about that. For right now, I'm feeling a strong 7 on this record, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.